Larry and I are going to go back and forth and just offer helpful suggestions. You can go first. What would you do?
Well, what I would do, it's interesting. It's like, I'm thinking about my complaints in this game and this and that. I think they went away from the run. It's really weird. I mean, you can be hypercritical on this stuff, but then I thought they went away from the run early in the game once they tied it. Now, granted, immediately Atlanta went back up 7, but I thought they went away from the run a little bit too much early, and then they stayed with the run too long before they decided to go hurry up, and they never really showed me any real consistent hurry up. And I felt like if there was one area in this game where I would give Kyle an F and give Arthur Smith an A, it was the understanding and use of tempo in the game. Arthur Smith would get into short 2nd and 1s, 3rd and 1s, race everybody to the line of scrimmage, and then give you an obvious run look. And then one time it's a run to the running back, and one time it's a quarterback keeper, and Mariota's very decisive and he's making one read and going.
And the Niners on their heels.
And the Niners were on their heels, and they used tempo expertly. The 49ers, I thought, didn't. They didn't go hurry up.
They went slow down 14 in the fourth quarter. That was amateur.
Yeah, it didn't matter if they scored or didn't score on the touchdown or on the on the drive where they lost it on downs, because even if they had scored, the game was over. When the Niners got the ball back on their last drive after they stopped Atlanta on Atlanta's final drive, there was only 1 minute and 3 seconds left in the game.
No timeouts.
With no timeouts, yeah. So I mean, that 9th drive was a killer, and the Brendel penalties, absolutely crushing penalties. And then the lack of urgency. They should have gone hurry up much faster. There's no way in hell they should have been running Tevin Coleman on 2nd and 10 from the 46 with 5 minutes to play, down 14 points. I mean, there was one, I went through the play-by-play. There was one sequence, I think, in that drive, Grant, where they went 38 seconds between plays.
Yeah.
That's way too much.
What are you doing? Yeah.
That's way too much inside of 10 minutes, down 14 points. They have to be able to speed it up. So my first thing would be like, get your arms around what tempo you want to play that's advantageous for you at what parts of the game, and make sure you are locked into the proper tempo. Because if you're not playing at the right tempo, that gets you beat as well.
So like, to me, what you're saying is that's situational football, okay? Kyle has a very deliberate tempo in the first quarter. We're going to make 3 substitutions. We're going to talk about it in the huddle. We're going to get to the line, and then Kittle's going to go in motion, and then maybe use check, and then there's going to be another. It's like, okay, all this stuff, but with down 14 with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the tempo has to be totally different. You can't play like that anymore. Have some situational awareness. Practice that. I feel like the Niners Kyle Shanahan is so much more concerned with his scheme than with situational football, and that's why he's not scoring in the fourth quarter. Like, you can't just run your scheme all the time. There's different tempos for different situations, and I don't think they're actually in tune with that. So yeah, practice situational football.
They're not scoring in the third quarter either. Quarterback, the quarter that most reflects coaching adjustments generally is, okay, you come out with your game plan, they come out with their adjustments, you go into the locker room, you make some adjustments. The third quarter is go time. They're 28th in the NFL in third quarter points right now.
Yeah, he's got to save something for the third quarter. Also, he needs to go down the field. This whole slant screens and curls offense isn't good enough, because to win the Super Bowl, you're eventually going to have to beat the Bills or the Chiefs, and these teams have shown that they can go down the field in 9 seconds and score a touchdown if they need to. They've done it before. The Niners, you got the ball back with 1:07 left and no timeouts. Over. You don't have the quick strike ability. But on that final drive that took 8 million years, Jimmy Garoppolo did throw a very nice deep pass to Brandon Ayuk that didn't count. He needs to be doing more of this. Brandon Ayuk is way too gifted to just run slants and screens and curls all day. Same with Debo. You have 2 of the best wide receivers in the league, and Jimmy Garoppolo made some nice throws down the field in this game. To his credit, you got to go down the field. This whole micromanaging slant screens and curls thing is not good enough. Not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm torn on this one because like for this week, for example, against Kansas City, do you fling it around? Do you fling it all over the place? In a way, Grant, I totally agree with you. Why? Because you have Ayuk. You drafted Danny Gray. You signed Ray McLeod. You did this because you knew you needed a downfield offense, whether it was Trey, Jimmy, whether I was quarterbacking, whether you were quarterbacking. They had to have some downfield threat. They had zero downfield threat last year, zero. And so they needed that. They knew they needed that. Now they've made adjustments, added the players, and they still don't have a downfield threat. And they got to connect on those passes, and if they don't connect, they got to try it again. My biggest complaint is that Ray dropped it. My biggest complaint is that they only went to him one time.
Right. And that Danny Gray was inactive.
And Danny Gray was inactive. Was he? I know he was ill during the week, but I mean, first of all, Ray McLeod fumbled a ton last year in Pittsburgh, and his ball skills are iffy at best. You see it a little bit on special teams. He is a fast guy, and you had to use your speed on that fast surface. But man, Danny Gray was drafted for a reason. He's not just a fast guy. He's a fast guy, a tough guy with good ball skills. And like, you know what? I know Ray's more advanced, more trustworthy on special teams, but Danny Gray was a 3rd round pick for a reason. He is a game breaker. Let him break the game open.
And to your question, I don't think the Niners. I don't think the Niners have the defense to just dink and dunk on offense anymore. You can dink and dunk and play ball control and run the ball when you have the best defense in the league, which they had, but they don't have that anymore because 8 starters are hurt. So no, I don't think it's enough. If they just try to dink and dunk their way to a victory over the Chiefs, it's not going to happen. Now, maybe you're not going to win either way.
And the other plan is you got the Chiefs. Maybe you ought to have the Arthur Smith game plan, which is, run the ball. Power it, power the run, JP Mason time, mix in, just stay patient with the run game. Do what Arthur Smith did. Caleb Huntley is just a guy.
Algier, sure. Run the ball 40 times, but take shots. Take shots.
Take shots.
Take shots.
You got to absolutely take shots.
Yeah.
But I think they also
keep them honest. That's all I'm saying. Keep them honest. Use Brandon Ayuk. Yeah. Use Debo. Come on. That's all I'm saying.
Right now, everybody's bunched up. They need to take shots, create space, but then they need to pound the run and be patient.
Because that's their identity. And honestly, they've shown they can't win any other way. Let's be honest. They cannot win any other way. When they throw more than they run, they lose. When they don't have a 4-point lead in the fourth quarter, they lose. So win how you win, but at the same time, you got to take shots. I hated that passing offense this last week.
And also, since you can't take shots when everybody knows you're going to pass because you don't have the tackles right now, and you may not even have the quarterback. Yeah. That means you got to take shots down the field earlier in the games.
Yep.
Like go up top early in the game.
Yeah.
Make them defend the vertical side of the field for the entire game. Make that a factor. Sometimes I think they come out, we're going to establish the run, we're going to go play action pass, we're going to draw everybody up on the line of scrimmage, then we're going to take shots. Well, that could take 4 drives. You need to take some shots before you get disconnected, especially as you start playing these better offensive teams.
Yep.
You're going to get disconnected on the scoreboard faster. Yeah. So you need to be more aggressive in the first quarter in the downfield passing attack, I think, to hang
also,
with those games.
When you take
games could get out of hand.
Also, when you take these shots, don't waste them by taking them to Charlie Warner or Ray McLeod. Those are not deep threats.
Tight end. Yeah, you're
blocking. If you're throwing it to a tight end, it's Kittle or Dwelly. Dwelly has never dropped a pass. Kittle is a very good tight end. If you're throwing to a wide receiver, it's Danny Gray, Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel. Stop calling deep throws for Tevin Coleman and Jawan Jennings. Stop. Just because you think no one's expecting it, that doesn't make it smart. You have really good receivers on your team. Throw to those guys because you only get 3 or 4 shots in this game, and you wasted them in this game calling him for Charlie Warner. He should have caught it. What'd you really expect? It's Charlie Warner.
I mean, you're trying to surprise everybody. The person who looks most surprised was Charlie Warner.
Yes.
Charlie Warner, what? The ball's here? Here's the thing. You got an awesome 4-5 all-pro tight end. Yep. Let him catch the ball down the field and find some blocker that you trust and let that guy stay in and block.